So, you say you're going to a Ren fair, and you don't know what to expect. Well, follow along with Sir Blasphemy on this video, and we'll give you some tips that'll help you through your Renaissance experience. Check it out. Good day, Sir Blasphemy here for Sir Blasphemy's Travels. I hope you guys are doing well out there, and I hope you're having the days you deserve. So today we are going to do a little bit of a beginner's guide to Renaissance fairs. So maybe some of you out there that are just maybe now coming across my channel for the first time, and maybe like things like cosplay, or they like going to Renaissance fairs, or going to I don't know, Halloween parties, whatever, any place where you get to dress up, have an event, do things like that. But of course, this is mainly centered around Renaissance fairs. And so maybe you're going to your very first Renaissance fair, or maybe you have already been to one or two, and you kind of want to get into it more. Well, in this video, I'm going to give you guys a beginner's guide. This is strictly for the beginners. The beginner's guide to what to expect at a Renaissance festival, and what you can do to enhance your experience. So yeah, in case you guys aren't familiar with me, so those of you might be seeing me for the first time, my name is Sir Blasphemy. That is my character name, of course, and I own a sweet shop booth at Renaissance fairs across the country, mainly in the Midwest and to the Western United States, are the fairs that I frequent and sell at. I'm a vendor there. So I do fairs like the Texas Renaissance Festival. I'll be doing Sherwood Forest Fair. I've done Scarborough Renaissance Festival, done Original Renaissance Pleasure Fair, and I'm getting into even some more as we speak right now. So, and I've been doing this for a number of years, and even prior to that, I have been attending Renaissance fairs and kind of submerged myself into the community with that, and have really enriched my life doing so. So, if those of you that are new here maybe haven't, and you're seeing this video from me for the first time, I implore you to check out some videos. I'll pop one up here in the corner or two that you can check out. But feel free to go through my catalog, and you'll see, behind the scenes footage of me at Renaissance fairs, setting up, doing things, walking through the crowd, talking to people, having a good time with people, just joking it up, and submerging myself in the experience of working at a Renaissance festival, as well as being a patron at ones too. Not all of my videos that you will see on my channel are just me working at Renaissance fairs. Some of them are me just going to them as a patron too. So feel free to go through that. And of course, I'll mention this right off the bat. Like, subscribe if you like what you see and you find this content useful. Please like and subscribe. Tickle that bell for future notifications, and always comment. Comment if you can. I always comment back 100% of the time. All right, so let's get into it, guys. So you're thinking about going to a Renaissance fair, or maybe you've been to one or two, and you kind of are still unsure about it, and you're not sure what to expect. And so I'm actually going to go over some things that I've done in other videos too that I've hit on, but we'll kind of re-go over those things now, and as well as some new things that I haven't brought up in other videos. And so that way maybe you can get all the information that you can right up front, and you can make your Renaissance experience an absolutely fantastic one. So let's give you some tips here. Let's get the beginner's guide going here. So the first thing I'm going to tell you before you even go to a Renaissance fair, before you even go there, expect things that maybe you don't see in normal everyday, especially at Renaissance fairs that have camping situations, things of that nature. So if you're bringing, let's say, young kids, or you're bringing, which it is a family atmosphere. I don't want to mislead you in any way. It is an absolute family atmosphere, and it's a lot of fun. But there are people out there that do dress scantily. So, be prepared for that. If you have children, you're going to see some exposed breasts, maybe not nude or anything like that, but very close. You're going to see, men, thinly dressed, not everywhere, of course. This is, handfuls there, but you're going to see exposed buttocks for the most part, on men and women. I've seen it out there, a million times. So you can get that, but I don't want to leave the impression like everybody's walking around in the nude. That's not what's going on. That's not the case at all. It's just, spackled here and there. It's part of the experience. and it's accepted and very much encouraged at Renaissance Fair. So if you have children there, just know that if you're bringing children, you might see something like that. Odds are high that you may not, but still, there's a chance of that. And then if you're at one of the Renaissance fairs that has like the patron camping and things like that that really make an event of things like Texas Renaissance Festival or Sherwood Forest Fair, places like that, and there's a lot more around the country that do the same thing. But just know that there's, do your research ahead of time. Check out and say, hey, maybe it's just you and your girlfriend, or maybe it's you and your wife, or maybe it's you and your husband, or you and your boyfriend, or however it works out. And you're looking to participate in the whole fun aspect. Well, absolutely do your research, because it's a blast. It's one big party when you're at a Renaissance Fair in the campgrounds. And I mean, I've seen it myself, and it's absolutely, such a good time and such good people that are out there. And, be prepared to see some pretty crazy things. I do a video on here where I give an experience that I saw out at the Fields of New Market Campground at the Texas Renaissance Festival in Houston. And, I saw some cool stuff. And some stuff that you don't see every day, some nudity, things like that. So, if you're looking at the more adult-oriented thing, do your research, check it out, map it out, especially at large Renaissance fairs, so you can experience as much as you can in an evening or on a weekend. So it's out there for you, and it's a good time, and I encourage you absolutely to take part in doing so. Definitely, take your time and go out there and have a good time and do your research. But if you have a family, if you have children, and you want, to kind of shield them from the party aspect and have quieter, camping and more of a family experience, there's absolutely camping for that at every Renaissance fair that does this sort of thing too. They have it separate, and you can go out there, so make sure to do your research. Be sure to ask questions to the people at the management that are at these Renaissance fairs, because they will gladly answer your questions. And a lot of the times, even when you get there, they'll show you around. They'll put you on a cart. They'll show you around. They'll tell you where to go, to where not to go, or, whatever you're looking for, they'll kind of guide you in that direction. So make sure that, you do a little bit of research on that first if you're going to go camping and you're going to go into the fair. Just know that you're going to see some risky, edgy things. That's just the nature of the beast. And to me, that's what makes it fun. That's what adds the spice and really makes it an awesome experience. So there's that aspect. I've mentioned this in other videos before. Absolutely bring cash. Cash is king at Renaissance fairs, without question. There are ATMs and things like that inside the fair, but their little fees that they charge are a little bit high. So you might want to get your cash beforehand, because when you go in there, maybe you like beer, maybe you like mead, maybe you like, you want to sample some of the foods that are there, because at Renaissance fairs, there is an absolute plethora of fantastic food. I could go on and on and on about, it's not just turkey legs and hot dogs or sausage on a stick, whatever. It's not just that. There's pizza, there's heroes, there's Greek food, there's Polish food, there's Italian food, there's German food. There's a ton, and there's a lot of, and not only that, there's desserts, like in my area of it. I make sweets, I make candy bars and things like that. So there's just about any kind of food you can imagine you can usually find at a Renaissance fair. So it's not like you're just going there for turkey legs or anything like that. So you're going to want to have some cash on you, because most vendors, really only take cash, and it's just a lot easier process. Now, to be fair, everybody's kind of catching up now. I know I am. I take credit, of all kinds there too. So, credit, debit cards, whatever. So you're not going to get blocked out entirely if you just bring your credit or debit card. You'll probably be okay. But it's a better, you're going to run in, excuse me, I'm fumbling over my words here, but you're going to run into certain places that only take cash. And you just want to make sure you have access to everything that you want to experience while you're there. And piggybacking off of this, guys, as a beginner going into Renaissance fairs, like I said, the food and drink are just, each year it gets better and better at these fairs, because everybody's trying to raise the level. You run into things like funnel cakes, and you run into things like, what is it, I don't know. There's so much. You just need to walk around. Don't just run straight to the turkey legs. Absolutely do it, because those are phenomenal, but Go around before you eat during a day. Take a little journey around and look at all the different food varieties. You'll be quite surprised at how much is out there and just how good it is. Um, be prepared for, a little bit of sticker shock at some fairs, the bigger fairs especially. Some of the prices for food can be a little bit much, but it's not over the top, but you're not getting convenience store prices by any means. You're getting more kind of restaurant prices. So, and especially like in the beer area, if you're a beer drinker like me, you're going to pay, depending on the fair, you're going to pay somewhere between $7 and $9 for a 16-ounce beer, I think. So that's not entirely bad, So expect those little things, and most fairs too. Just to kind of let you know, if you're going there and maybe you don't want to eat inside, maybe you want to save a little bit of money, you're on a budget, that's fine, and you want to go back out to your car, you bring yourself some drinks, some food. Most fairs will let you go out to your car. They'll give you a little stamp. You just go back to the entrance basically, and you'll ask them, I'd like to go out to my vehicle for a little while. Can I come back in? And they'll usually give you a little stamp or maybe even a band or something, and you can go out to your vehicle. So that's something. So bringing a cooler full of food and drinks is probably a good idea if you're not looking to spend that much and you're on a budget, or maybe you just want to spend some quality family time, step away from the fair, and relax. So that's something that you can do as well. Getting to the fair. Okay, so I would not recommend getting in your vehicle. Let's say a fair opens at 10 a.m. I would not recommend getting in your vehicle and getting there at like 9:50. You're going to wait in line in cars, and then by the time you park, it'll probably be 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then by the time you wait through the line to get in, it'll probably be noon. So what I do, I'm a vendor most of the time, so I get to bypass all that. But I've been a patron and still do go to fairs that I don't vend at. So what I try to do is you get there really early. So let's say a fair opens up at 10. Get there at 8:30, and go ahead and get in line. It's fun. It's not anything boring. It's like going to a concert. You get there early, you get to talking with people in line, people are dressed up, everybody's in a good mood and good spirits, and there's people there. You'll get there early, you'll get in early, you'll get to walk in when it's less crowded, when you first get in there, and you'll get to kind of go into sections. Maybe you want to go explore really quick, maybe you want to look at some show performers, things like that. And so, it gives you a chance to walk around. But maybe if you're like, nah, I'm not really an early bird to those kinds of things, I would recommend coming there about an hour to an hour and a half after they open. That gives time for that line that forms in front of Renaissance fairs to filter through, get inside, and then you can usually just walk right up and go inside. Another reason, piggybacking off the cash thing, another reason also to bring cash is there are tons and tons of performers there. Phenomenal performers that you can go see. And usually the only way, some of them will take Venmo and things like that where you can tip them online, but you go and see them, and they live off their tips, guys. And these are great performers. These are people that juggle knives and swords and fire and use whips and do magic shows and do amazing stunts and do comedy routines, whatever the case may be, play music. These are people that put a lot of work in, a lot of performers, and when you sit down and enjoy their show, you give them a couple of bucks. And so that's another good reason to bring cash, and it's another main reason to bring cash, because these performers that you enjoy thoroughly when you go there, they survive off that. And that's how they make their living. And so, again, bring your cash. Sorry, I had to go back to that because I kind of forgot that point. So yeah, I mean, absolutely. So those are some of the things, as a beginner's guide, and to make your experience more enhanced while you're there, to be more prepared, and to give you some tips to kind of navigate around certain things. Absolutely. So here's another tip. Absolutely dress up if you can. Absolutely. I've mentioned this in other videos. Dress up. Don't be afraid. Trust me. It just enhances the experience. And if maybe, you're like, I don't want to spend, $300-400 on a costume, and I don't want to buy some cheap, flimsy thing on Amazon that everybody else is going to have, you can go there and you can rent costumes for the day. There's always a costume rental, usually always right up front, sometimes right outside the fair even. So you can go and you can rent a costume. I think maybe, I don't even know. It's not very expensive. It might range. I'm touching something there. Sorry. It might range. You guys correct me on this because I've never rented a costume, and I've never thought to ask. I think I've heard people say though you can rent a costume for a day for like 40, 50, 60 bucks, something like that. Maybe even be less than that. I don't know. You guys comment, the ones that know, and how much it costs to rent a costume or something like that. If those of you that are in the know, and correct me on that. But yeah, so absolutely dress up, play the part, have fun, and dress accordingly to the day's weather. That's another thing I want to tell you. Drink, 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 whether it's cold or whether it's hot, especially if it's hot. But drink plenty of fluids. I'm not talking beer and mead. You can do that inside, but drink some water, drink some Gatorade before you go in there. Make sure you put that in. Get that in you, and make sure to stop during the course of the day and do that. And when you're dressed up, dress according to the weather, because I have seen, and I've mentioned this in other videos, I've seen people fall out on hot days and they're dressed in their garb and they fall out. I've seen people just dressed thin and they've fallen out. Some right in front of my booth a couple of times. So, make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids that aren't beer and mead related, to really make sure that you're going to be okay on a hot day. Even on a cold one, you want to dress up, wear something warm. Great day for garb, usually since garb is so heavy, and most of it is, it's great to wear it in the winter, but not all people, do that. I have to wear full sleeves, my character and stuff, even when it's almost 100 degrees out. So, I just have to be very careful working there. And, especially if you go to fairs that don't have a lot of shade. So, just be aware, do that research, watch videos online like this one, and research and look and check out the fairs, people walking around. I've got plenty of videos where I do that on here too, where we're walking around and I'm showing you the fair. So if you're at the Arizona Renaissance Festival, there's no trees there. So you may want to make sure you drink plenty of liquids if you know it's going to be a hot day. Maybe dress down, especially if you have garb, maybe a kilt, and maybe just, a doublet, or not a doublet, but, well, maybe a doublet, just depends on the doublet, but whatever the case may be, dress to the weather. And if you decide I'm going to wear something kind of warm and hot on a hot day, just take care of yourself while you're out there. That's the best thing I can tell you, is just monitor too, look at your weekends. You know where you live and you know what the weather does where you live, usually around certain points of time of year. Watch your weather, check out your weather, and make sure that you're going to be set up for an easy, successful day when you get there, a fun day. It's going to be enjoyable, and you're not going to be sitting there sweating, thirsty, leaving early. You get there at, let's say, open, and then all of a sudden, because of heat exhaustion, you're leaving at 1. You don't want to do that. You've just paid to get in there, and you're not even getting to really fully experience it because you didn't get prepared for the weather that day. So there's my tip to it. So I just had something I wanted to share with you too. So usually most prices for tickets you can get online. A lot of fairs will do like sales before that. I encourage you to get online, pick out your dates that you want to go, and get your tickets as early as possible. Usually if the Renaissance Fair announces it for their season, they'll usually announce like tickets 4 to 6 months ahead of time. Get on their website, order them then, because that's the cheapest that you'll get your tickets. And if you can't do that, at least order them online before you get to the Renaissance Fair, because you'll actually probably save a couple of bucks doing that too as well, and it gets you in there faster as well. You don't have to run up and pay for your ticket, or maybe even wait in lines at a ticket booth trying to get tickets. So I would encourage you to get your tickets before you go to the fair. Make sure you do that. It'll save you time, it'll save you some money, and it'll get you in there, and you can get to having fun as quickly as possible, right? That's the name of the game. Be ready for, it is a Renaissance Fair. Be ready, like I said, for, skimpy dressers, but be ready to, hear some foul language. It is a public area. It is a large public area with all kinds of personalities and things like that, and people do drink and they do get buzzed and things like that. So be prepared to hear while you're out there, you know, some cussing or or maybe, you know, people wearing sexually explicit, you know, shirts, things like. So it's a Renaissance fair. We all kind of let it all hang loose. It's all about being yourself when you go out there, and so just be prepared for that. You're not going to a you know, a church function. You're not going to an air show or you know, or a sporting event. It's much different. So just be prepared for those things. I'm trying to think here, guys. I have a lot of friends on here that I'm sure will dive into the comments and read the comments too as well, and comment yourself, because the people that watch this are all veterans too of the fair, and they offer some fantastic advice. Some of them work the fairs, some of them just go all the time all over the country too, and they have fantastic advice. So they'll probably comment on some of the things that I forget about. And guys, if you would help me out and throw some comments out to I've got a cat in there yelling, "What's going on, kitty?" You hear that? All right, yeah, they're yelling at me, hearing me talk. But anyway, yeah, please comment, and it's distracting. Stop it. And so yeah, if you would comment in the comments and cover some of the things that I miss, and some things to do as a patron. Since I work there, there's some things I'm sure that I miss. Absolutely get yourself a map of each Renaissance fair when you go. That is so helpful, and it'll absolutely make your day a lot faster instead of kind of aimlessly wandering around, which is fun too. That's another thing to do. If you can get yourself a map and a program while you're there, it'll just make it'll make your day more fulfilled. You'll get to hit the targeted shows or the vendors or the places you want to go see. And you know, if you're maybe just going to be there one day, and I always recommend, always do it for a whole weekend if you can. If you're going to just go one time a season, do it on a Saturday and Sunday. Experience it for an entire weekend, because most Renaissance fairs you can't see it all in a day, especially with shows. So treat yourself to 2 days. Absolutely, every time. If you can do it 2 days, make a weekend out of it, have a blast. If you can camp there. It makes it a good time. But anyway, so there's some of the you know, beginner's guide, if you will, if you're a first-time patron, or maybe you've only went once or twice to a Renaissance fair, of what to expect, what you should do when you go to a Renaissance fair. There's still 1,000 other things I haven't covered, but I hope that in this video it'll give you some assistance and guide you in the right direction so you can have the best Renaissance day, weekend, day, whatever, that you can possibly have with yourself, your significant other, or your entire family, so, or your friends, whatever the case may be. And that way it's just a lot of fun, which is what they're meant to do. And yeah. Oh, and one last thing. Don't get insulted by some of the... We have sarcastic attitudes when we're out there as characters. We're doing it for comedy. That's another thing. You will hear us make jokes and things like that. We'll say silly things. We can't cross certain lines or anything like that. We're not going to get too out of line or anything like that. But we might take goofy shots to get your attention, to look our way. So never be insulted. We're doing it in good fun. It's just silly things. Like if you're wearing, let's say for instance, I was a Texas Rangers fan, and I was in Houston, and the Houston Astros people were walking by me in their shirts. I would take friendly shots. I would go, well, the Rangers swept you, or you know, they didn't sweep them, but I'm just saying, oh, the Rangers beat you, whatever. And you know, it would get their attention. The name of the game is getting your attention and getting you to look at our products or come to our shows. So there we go. There's the last bit of advice I'll give you in a quick nutshell, because I almost forgot that one. But hey, sweetie. But anyway, that's it, guys. So that was your beginner's guide from Old Sir Blasphemy on how to experience a Renaissance fair as a first-time visitor, or maybe as a rookie going into it. You know, maybe you've only been there once or twice. And but there's a lot more. I'll let the other veterans comment down in the comment section. You guys should read it, because they have some fantastic advice. And you know, they'll be able to tell you even more than I can fit into this video. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I wish you the best. And come visit me at a Renaissance fair near you. I will gladly chat it up with you. I'll gladly offer you more advice and all that good stuff. So don't be afraid to come visit me. I absolutely love making new friends. And so yeah, so look for me, Sir Blasphemy, at CB Dragon Sweet Shop. You can find me. I sell candy bars and I think you guys will enjoy them. And I'll be selling actually more things coming up at other Renaissance fairs that I don't want to mention right now. So anyway, all right. Hope you enjoyed the video. Enjoy your Renaissance experience. Until next time, Sir Blasphemy out.